Hello soupers! Today we are going to be making an eggplant parmesan soup, something this Italian girl cannot wait to try. So before we get started with our souping, let's review the ingredients we'll need to make this delicious concoction. First of all, we have the base of our soup, which is the eggplant. So you're going to need 2 large eggplants, 1 large yellow onion, some shredded Parmesan cheese, and also some celery stalks. Some croutons, which we're going to process into breadcrumbs, so you could probably use breadcrumbs as well. Balsamic vinegar, and then we have some vegetable stock, which we've chosen an organic variety here because it was on sale, and who doesn't like organic? In addition, you'll need some tomato juice, 1.5 cups of stewed tomatoes. So again, we've selected an organic variety because we had a coupon and we were able to get a good deal on it. Some dried spices, oregano and basil. We have our fresh garlic cloves, some good old olive oil, and last but not least, some white wine. And our recommendation for selecting a good wine to cook with is you should only cook with a wine that you would enjoy drinking. So usually we don't buy anything that says cooking wine on it. We just pick up a bottle of a good standby wine that we like to enjoy on a normal night and use that. And then the bonus is you can finish the bottle with your soup once you have completed cooking it. So now that we have our ingredients, let's get started.
First step, we are going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees because we have to roast our eggplant. 2 hands are better than 1 today. So our soup savant is just washing our eggplant. Now we are going to dry our eggplant. So we're just going to put a little olive oil in the bottom of our pan. And now Kimberly is just puncturing our eggplant.
A little tip to help you with gripping is to use 2 forks so that as you spin it around, you have a little bit of support.
And as you're doing this too, it's also rolling in the olive oil. Place the eggplant in the oven for 40 minutes. Alright, it's been about 40 minutes and this eggplant smells really amazing. So let's put it over here. And remember what I taught you? Oh yeah. See how that makes a nice little indent? This is definitely done. It's perfect. Now that our eggplant is out of the oven, I am chopping the celery. Cut 1 onion. And we're going to mince all of our garlic.
So we're going to start with the actual pot by using 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You don't have to measure this by hand. You can just kind of do 3 turns of the pan, and that's about good. And to that, we're going to add all of our vegetables. In this little bowl, we've pre-prepared chopped onion, diced garlic, and also diced celery. So we're just going to put that into our oil and let it start to cook down and until it becomes translucent, about 10 minutes.
Putting the croutons in a food processor and...
Alright, so as you can see, now that we've got our processed croutons, what this gives us is some breadcrumbs that we're going to be using a little bit later on for our eggplant parm soup. Looks yummy.
Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes, and as you can see, our onions and our celery and our garlic is cooking up really well, and everything is coming together, and our veggies look very translucent, which is a very good sign. We're just going to peel off all the skin on our eggplant. And so what we're going to do is we are just going to dice the rest of the eggplant carcass. We are adding our vegetable stock, 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar, 2 cups of tomato juice, stewed tomatoes, 1 cup of wine, add our eggplant, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of basil. Give this a nice stir, and we're going to simmer for 35 minutes. Alright, so we have let our soup simmer for about 35 minutes, and what we noticed is it is just a little bit too chunky. So what we're doing is we are going to puree it. in the food processor.
And now we've got our pureed soup back in the pot. We actually had to upgrade to a larger pot, so that's okay. Soupers have to be flexible. Sometimes you gotta change on the fly. So our final step, we're gonna let the soup simmer a little bit with the cheese that we're adding. So we're adding about 2 cups of shredded Parmesan cheese. And you can use pre-shredded like this, or you can shred your own fresh if you have that on hand. And then we're gonna add the 4 cups of croutons that have been processed into breadcrumbs into our soup. And we're gonna give it a little stir. Ooh. Allow it to heat back up a little bit. So let's crank up the heat. Get a good melt on that cheese.
Look at this eggplant Parmesan soup. We garnished it with a little Italian parsley and a crouton to top it off. I cannot wait to taste this. Oh goodness, it smells so good. Oh my gosh. This is like soup heaven in a bowl. Wow, it's so good. Happy souping!